Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. As we've been predicting, Bitcoin prices have surged more than $1,000 overnight. And at the end of this video, we're going to review why it is that altcoin prices got crushed at the same time. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. You can pause the video to read our disclaimer or click on the link down in the description below. Let's jump right into Bitcoin prices as they stand right now and pull the chart back a bit so we can see this in perspective on the 12-hour bars. This is a huge green candle, and we've been missing this kind of action in Bitcoin for a long time, but Bitcoin prices were building up to a great formation for such a long time. At this kind of formation, you really have to rely on your indicators to tell you if this is going to be surging higher or breaking lower. And as we saw in our indicators, when we zoomed into these, we were going over the RSI, we were going over the on-balance volume, and the MACD indicator. They were all giving us the thumbs up that this was going to be breaking higher just before it went. So this is a fantastic indicator to put these three things together and really watch for really specific events and really specific measurables to occur in these charts. And they were telling us ahead of time what was to come. So all of these indicators, as we were checking them out the last few days, are really key. And the big question everybody has now is, how much higher will this go? Let's do a quick prediction based on some basic technical analysis. Let's clean up this chart so that we're just seeing the price. And just there we go. So now we can take a look at one of the examples we were looking at is a Fibonacci extension from the low to the high of the recent range. And we have exactly hit those Fibonacci extensions, which actually kind of blows me away. It always astonishes me how technical analysis actually works. The more you work with it, the more comfortable you get with it, the more you trust what it's telling you beforehand. And so one of the predictions that I've been making over the last while, based on these technical indicators, is that prices would come up, bounce here, and then hit to the $6,100 level before hitting some really serious support and resistance from areas in the past. I don't know if this will actually occur, so what I'll have to do now is to really rely on the indicators to give us the inside view. So I'll zoom into the 3-day view, bring up the indicators again, and this is what we're going to be watching over the next few days to see how these pan out. We're going to be watching the 1-hour bar MACD indicator to see when this crosses over. So if we take a comparison now and we start looking at the 3-day of the on-balance volume, we're going to have to see this really drop off, or a double top where the next on-balance volume isn't as strong. If prices come up to the $5,100 level again, and we don't have as strong on-balance volume, that's going to be telling us that things are running out. And this is what we'll look at now as we zoom out to the 1-hour bar and the 12-hour bar. We can see what a surge in volume this is, such a positive surge. Great to see it even on the 12-hour bar, that it is significant in that time period, that has really risen up to breaking some important levels that we had been calling for in the past. And I don't, like I say before, I don't do a lot of technical analysis on these indicators, but this kind of price level break in the on-balance volume is really great to see. So we'll be watching this to see when this tops out, but it won't be on the longer term forms. It'll be in this shorter term time frame that we actually get to see that as it starts to peter out. Not yet though, I don't think. Now, last one we'll go and take a look at is the RSI, so that we're getting familiar again with what we were watching for in the RSI. And we are looking for this uptrend in the RSI still. We are looking for it to go into the overbought area and stay there. Overbought, overbought, overbought. Just as we did in the last uptrend here, we should be in the overbought very often all the way along now. That's fantastic to see. In the 5-year view, when we're looking at the weekly, we still have a long ways to go before this is really truly into the bull. So we still have a long ways for this to uptrend all the way along, probably for the rest of the year. Really, this weekly RSI should be trending up just as it did in the past all the way along here. So these are the indicators we're looking for now. We're not watching for the breakout anymore. Now we're watching for when does this peter out. One of the key things we check every day is how cohesive are these markets. Here we can see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Stellar versus US dollar all broke out at about the same time. The volume all came into each of them, and they all look like they are surging to go higher right now in US dollar value. But one thing that was surprising is that while Bitcoin went up in US dollar value and Ethereum went up in US dollar value, Ethereum went down versus Bitcoin. What that means is that Bitcoin went up and Ethereum went up, but Bitcoin went up faster than Ethereum. And so then compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum dropped down simply because Bitcoin went up faster than Ethereum did. I'm not too worried about this pullback versus Bitcoin prices. I'm going to just sit still, and I think that there will be an elastic band effect myself, an elastic band effect that is going to bring these markets up higher. And how would I find this elastic band effect? This is a little bit more advanced than this video, but what I would do is I would take all three of these main indicators and I would bring up Ethereum versus US dollar and Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and I would have several screens up so that I could be watching the coordination between those indicators and these two markets. That'll tell me, it'll show me what I'm expecting to see, but we can also skip all the indicators, and as these prices are moving up in US dollar value, and these are almost moving up a little bit here in US and Bitcoin value, we know that snapback effect is already starting. So we can watch these charts unfold, and I'm going to put a link to these two different chart patterns down below the video so that you can open them up with one click, and you'll be able to open up all of these markets in the US dollar value and the Bitcoin value here that you see. And I'd also encourage you to watch our live stream tonight as we're going to go through all of the cryptocurrencies on Poloniex again. And we're going to chart out the bullishness and bearishness of all of these markets again to see what this big move in Bitcoin has done to our bullish and bearish indexes. So we'll go through and grade each one of these markets again tonight at 6 p.m. We'll be doing the bull market watch update. We'll go through each of these markets, we'll fill out our spreadsheet, and we'll see which of them have changed from green back to neutral. Maybe some of them have turned into a cold fish market telling us to exit. And we'll take a look at all of their moving averages and decide what we should be doing and how we should be color coding these trades. Fantastic day in Bitcoin prices. Really great to have you guys along. Thank you so much for joining me. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All the best, and we will talk to you tomorrow. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin.